Hello, employees. Glad to see you here. Thank you for coming to the training. I know you're going to get a lot out of it, just like I love teaching it. Today, we are going to go over the B.R.A.I.N.S checklist. And this is born because, well, have you ever had a report fall apart because no one knew what revenue adjusted or what a true sale was? Or worse, they thought they knew it or it changed and nobody knew? These are how zombie spreadsheets are born. No offense. These type of spreadsheets create confusion, conflict, and chaos. This is why we have the B.R.A.I.N.S checklist here at Bite Size Munchies. This brings a method of structure, sanity, and survival to our metrics. Your reports are only as smart as the structure behind them. A strong data dictionary is like a brains for your metric, organizing, interpreting, and protecting every data point. The B.R.A.I.N.S framework connects messy spreadsheets to meaningful insights. Let's break it down on how it works. This brings us to the first letter of the B.R.A.I.N.S checklist, B, for basic information. Think of this as like your Zemployee badge. Your badge tells basic information about you for anybody to see. Our reports and dashboards need that same sort of metadata to explain the data to the viewer. Use a dedicated tab in Google Sheets or Excel to track field names, aliases, and data types, and keep it consistent. It's like boarding up windows. No unapproved changes get in or out. And for a zombie tip, make sure you lock the tab of the data dictionary so that only approved users can edit. This prevents headaches way down the line. Our next letter is going to be R for role and ownership. Who owns the metric? Who updates the report? Every data point should have a designated human keeping it alive. In your data dictionary, track the data owner, the responsible team, and who last updated it. Select clear rules who can change what, because without the ownership, accountability dies. This data point prevents the no you, no you, no you, no you. Our next element that should be in every data dictionary is accuracy and calculations. How do you calculate the metric? What source feeds to it? Add the formulas, the units, and source systems to your dictionary. I would even go as far as to add the formula you've written in the spreadsheet to calculate the metric. This prevents mystery math and keeps your analysis grounded. The next type of assets that should be in a data dictionary stands for I, interpretation and use. Take a look at this chart. Is the goal purple or green? Put your answers in the comments below or in the chat, and I'll give you a second to what you think the goal is. The correct answer is we don't know because we don't have data dictionary to tell us what is good and what is bad. Every field in your data dictionary should include a brief explanation of what the metric is, where it might appear, common misuses, and if there's a target or a goal, what's considered bad, what's considered good. Should all be in the data dictionary. This helps new users understand the metric without unleashing misinformation. The next letter in our B.R.A.I.N.S dictionary framework for a better data dictionary is N for normalization and formatting. Set naming rules, allowed values, and validation rules to prevent chaos. Drop downs, formatting standards, and conditional formatting will keep your inputs aligned and keep data zombies from sneaking in with inconsistent formats. For example, say you need a data point that needs to be either yes or no for your data pipeline downstream. Doesn't need to be never, doesn't need to be sure, doesn't need to be yeah or none, only yes or no. You would set that up in the data dictionary so everybody understands what's acceptable on normalization and formatting of your report. The last letter is probably the most important part of a data dictionary that almost everybody forgets. It's S, and it stands for storage and security. Sensitive fields need to be protected. Tag data points that have PII, set access levels, and define retention rules. And when you're sharing, make sure you share to appropriate individuals. If it contains personal data, treat it like a biohazard. Use formulas to flag sensitive information and keep your data bunker secure. If you want to go deeper on PII or securing data, please stay until after the video and you'll see where the next lesson is for there. Protect the data, protect the team. Now that we've gone into detail on all of them, let's summarize the B.R.A.I.N.S framework for a great data dictionary checklist. We want basic information. We want role and ownership. We want accuracy and calculations. We want interpretation and use case, normalization and formatting, storage, and probably one of the most important, security. Those are the elements that you want in every dictionary to prevent chaos and data reports going crazy. Before we get to the Q&A, please remember to hit that subscribe button to get your attendance accounted for. Now, remember, at Bite-Sized Munchies, all minds taste alike. Time for the Q&A. First question from Iggy. He wrote, who should manage the data dictionary? That's a fantastic question. Ideally, shared ownership, analyst, operations, and data owners. Assign roles, but keep it collaborative. And to protect the integrity of your data dictionary, restrict editing rights to approved team members only. And if you have any questions, put them in the comments below and I'll get to them as soon as possible. But on to the next one. It's from Madison. Is this overkill for a small team? Not at all. Even small teams need clarity. A simple structure prevents costly confusions down the road in your data pipeline. That way you never go back and question anything. You can always look to the data dictionary to get the information you need to understand how the data works. Is that it? Oh, no, one last question from Will. What if we forget to update the data dictionary, he asked. Don't ignore it. Bring it to the attention of your supervisor or the data team so they can investigate and ensure the accuracy of the information and everybody is on the same page. That is an important, good question. Before you go, I'm pretty sure some of you need some extra training, especially if you need to learn how to write a KPI, watch this video, or if you need to understand what PII is, watch this video. See you guys in the next lesson.